When we first learn about manifesting and we become aware of the fact that we hold this huge power within us and we can imagine everything into existence or anything we desire into existence, different processes start happening. Of course, because we are growing mentally, we are learning new things, things that are opposing everything we knew before. Your way of living and thinking changes drastically, but a lot of people fall into develop habits that eventually lead them to not manifest their desires. And this is something that a lot of people don't even realize they're doing. And even the most experienced conscious manifestors can fall back into this habit. Maybe this doesn't happen to everyone, but I know for sure that a lot of people are going through this. I know it from my clients, my friends who are conscious manifestors, myself, and that is a very important thing to pay attention to, apart from the techniques and everything you know about manifesting, because when something becomes a habit, you don't really realize that you're doing it, so it's on autopilot, just like assumptions are. And unless you become aware of it, you stay there. And it can become frustrating because you think you're manifesting, but you're really not. And I am here to make you aware of that if this is you or anyone you know. So on that note, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope you will do so, because I will be posting a lot of videos about manifesting, keeping it simple, practical, useful, and share it with anyone you think might benefit from it. And let's talk about what I'm actually talking about. How can we know that we're manifesting but actually not manifest it? It's simple. We fall into the loop of gaining information, learning, and not doing the work, which is so important. And again and again, I'm going to say and repeat that I am not here to stop you from learning. I am not going to be one of those who tell you to not watch videos, because they can be very helpful, especially if you are watching content that provide you with information that works. It can be so helpful, and it can be so helpful both in the sense that you know what to do, you learn what to do, and also keep you on track. And if you have doubts or a bad moment, a good video can really uplift your mood and have you persist until you get there. But if you only do that, if you are only learning and not doing the work, the quote-unquote dangerous part of it is that it seems to you that you are doing something. It seems to you that you are learning something, or actually doing the work of manifestation, but you're not. Unless you practice what you learn, your manifestations are not going to happen. And here it is very useful, helpful, at least it was for me, to understand the mechanics of manifestation, the very basics of it. In order for something to manifest, it needs to get into your subconscious. Now, pay attention here and be careful, because when coaches say something needs to get from your conscious mind into your subconscious and it needs repetition, etc., it seems, or it can sound sometimes that it's a horribly hard work. You need to repeat something forever. It needs to take forever because for some reason your conscious mind is your enemy that is not letting anything go into the subconscious. That is not the case. It is absolutely not the case. Your subconscious is very impressionable and it can happen so quickly, but something needs to be done for it to happen. And the fact that you're learning, and I'm so happy to have all you new manifestors on my channel so that you don't have to go through figuring out what someone was saying or what this means or what your work is. Something that I went through myself, and a lot of people did. Everyone who started with the law of attraction and then found Neville Goddard, I was for a few years left with the question, what is my work here? Because I would read whole books, and I don't even have a number of the amount of books that I have read, reading a whole book and being left with the question, okay, but then what do I need to do for this? Because it says that I have this power, my imagination creates reality and everything is possible and this and that, but no actual explanation of then how does my mind know that I want, for example, money? Or how does my mind know that I want SP, different something on my body, whatever it is, objects, anything, friendships. This is where it is so important to understand that you need to do the work. And the mechanics of manifestation is that something needs to get into your subconscious. Because for now, everything that is in your subconscious now, which is your mental programming, the things that you believe in, it's not woo-woo, and it's not a wishy-washy thing. It's a very precise science, actually. Whatever is in there becomes your truth in your physical reality. So for something to change, it needs to change in your mind, or for something completely new to happen, it needs to get in your mind first. It happens through, for example, repetition. Repetition, or the feeling of it being real, which is something that a lot of people shy away from, but it's not. It's something that you need to try and figure out how it feels for you. I can't teach you how to feel your SP being in your life or how it feels for you to have the amount of money. But for those of you who are shying away from the feeling state, a repetition of a thought will get you into that state. This is mostly why repetition is so important. So, therefore, let's take affirmations, for example. I made a video about different techniques that you can use. I am going to link a playlist of techniques and how to do things in the description box below, so check it out if you're interested. But whichever technique you choose to do, you need to actually do it. It's not enough that you know it. And lately, I think, or it feels to me like I'm continuously mentioning this in my videos, but Neville Goddard, who I learned manifestation from, has chapters, full chapters in his books and lectures about how important it is to do the work. Because if you don't do the work, your new idea is not going to get into your subconscious. You need to do something. And the trap is that when you are in the loop of gaining information only, it feels like work. It feels like you're doing something useful, which it is. It is super useful. It is super helpful. Continue gaining your information, but don't forget to do the work. And if you are in this, if you feel like it has become a habit for you that you just watch a video or one video after another, and then when you switch off, that's it. Try to, for one day, not watch any video. Because when you don't have your mind occupied with stuff like that, you need to do something. Now you are aware. Now you are aware that manifestation is a thing, and you are aware of your thoughts. Try to force yourself for one day to not watch anything, not read anything, or limit yourself to one video a day, or watch the video, switch it off, do the work. This can actually be a helpful thing to make it become a practice. You watch a video and you promise yourself, once this video is done, I'm going to switch it off and actually do the work. And don't change the thing that you do. Whatever you're doing, if it's a mental exercise, and I speak about this in the video that I mentioned before about techniques, the way you know if something is going to work, if it's mental exercise. So it's not nothing physical that you need to do. Your beliefs need to change. So if you are affirming, someone says affirming doesn't work, ask yourself, like, is this a mental exercise? Yes, it is. Am I changing my beliefs like that? Yes, I am. Then you keep doing it. Or the same goes for visualizations, for inner conversations, for smelling, tasting, whatever you choose to do. Keep doing it. If you want to try something new, go ahead and do it. But don't change the things that you do all the time. It's not going to help. Your mind wants repetition. It needs repetition because you are creating a new habit. Now, speaking of habits, all this video has been about bad habits. Now let's talk about good habits. When you are affirming something again and again, you're focusing on your new thought, you're repeating it, you're creating a habit, you're creating a mental habit. Once that becomes a habit, it has to neutralize, eliminate whatever belief is opposing it. So that's a great solution to a problem also, to any manifestation problem actually, because going to the end holds within itself every solution, so you don't have to figure it out yourself. Therefore, it is crucial that you do it, because it's not going to do itself. And the best proof that something is not going to change unless you change it is, take for example, I'm sure you probably know a lot of people in your life. I have had clients who were dealing with beliefs that were probably 30, 40, 50 years old, the belief itself. And what it does is that if it's in there, it just manifests. It doesn't care. Your subconscious mind is not judgmental. It's not analytical. It's not going to think, she doesn't want this, so maybe I shouldn't manifest this. It doesn't care. If it's in there, it's going to manifest. And it manifests in different situations. So if you look back, so many people go through the same problem in different relationships, for example. Unfortunately, this is so common. And that is the proof of your belief doesn't change unless you change it. Because you doing physical thing, for example, if you or someone else, if someone has this belief that they are inherently unlovable, they can get into so many romantic relationships with the best people as many times as they want. That belief eventually is going to manifest. And then we create specific assumptions about the person, and then it becomes a whole problem. It looks like a new problem. It's not. It's not a new problem. It's the old thing manifesting again and again. And then you can go from one relationship to another. You're bringing yourself with you, and you're bringing your assumptions with you. So this is why I always say there's nothing you can do in the physical to create a lasting change. If you want something to change, it needs to happen in here, and it doesn't change on its own. These stories are proof that assumptions don't change. They stay unless you choose to change it. And that is the best part of it, that they are changeable. You can do whatever with your imagination and with your belief system. And it doesn't matter how rooted it is in you. And here I should mention, don't also try to, it's so easy to say don't make assumptions, but try to not make assumptions or work with it if you have assumptions that, oh, I have believed this all my life, how am I going to change it? Maybe in 10 days if you persist. I don't like to put time on things because it's unnecessary and sometimes it creates unnecessary pressure. It was just an example. It doesn't have to take you 50 years of repeating an affirmation just because you have believed something for 50 years. It doesn't have to. You just start doing the work. And something I wanted to mention was something that I have done, and I wonder if anyone of you out there has done this. And this is one of those not so efficient habits that I fell into years ago. And it was after I had manifested many things. Like I had experience already. And manifested consciously, I mean, we always manifest. But, you know, when you manifest something consciously and it happens, and then it's like, oh, I did that. And then you manifest the next thing and like, oh, I did that too. What else can I do? I did that too. And then you like get the hang of it and you realize, like, really for yourself, not other people telling you, but you realize for yourself, like, I can manifest whatever I put my mind to. I just need to repeat this affirmation or repeat this imaginal act or hear someone tell me something. I know what to do. So what happened was that whenever in that period, it was just a period, but it was a period and it happened that whenever I wanted something, I would say to myself, I know how to manifest, so I can manifest it whenever. And then didn't do anything about it. And it ended up not manifesting until I started actually doing the work. And I realized I was doing it after a while, that I keep saying this for each desire that comes up. It's like, oh, I desire this thing. Yeah, I can manifest it whenever. I know what to do, so I can just do it whenever. And then at some point I thought, why am I doing this? Just manifest it. Like, it's not going... time passes, even though we can say time doesn't exist, but we're experiencing it, and it's annoying that you desire something and you don't have it. So has anyone ever done that, or is it just me? Like, yeah, I can manifest it whenever. So that has been one of the things that has made me realize, again, for myself, not just someone telling me, that I have to do the work. It's about me, my desires. I want my desires in my life. So, and if I don't do the work, no one else is going to do the work for me. So just do it. And I want to finish this video with something that I read from Joseph Murphy, which again, I have said in other videos, but this is really the best place to say it. And he says that your mind is programmable and is programmed. There's no mind, no human mind at least, no human mind that is not programmed. So it's either programmed one way or the other way, or the third way, or whatever way. If you don't do it, society is going to do it. Your schools, your religious institutions, your friends' families, your own family, relatives, TV, oh gosh, the TV is going to do it for you, because whatever you continuously listen to, that becomes your programming. And he says, and this is true, you know this is true, because if you have manifested anything, you have had this experience that the suggestions you give to yourself, affirmations, but I'm using his words here, the suggestions that you give to yourself, or the suggestions that come from the outside, work the same way, if you accept it, of course. So instead of listening to other people's, I was going to say other people's limitations, but they are your limitations reflected back to you. You program yourself by doing the work. And when you do that, people and whatever they reflect back to you will also change according to your new beliefs. So, long story short, if you don't do it, society is going to do it, and that's not good. We know that's not good. That is the reason we got into manifesting in the first place, because we had learned to believe things that are just not working for us, right? That is why we started this journey of conscious manifesting, so that we decide what to have in our lives consciously, the things that we choose. So it is so, so, so important. I have said this in other videos, but it needed a video on its own to do the work. Learn things, watch the videos that you like. It is very encouraging to have someone tell you that you can do it, and this is how you do it, and if you do this, it works. It's priceless how encouraging that can be. But just don't forget to do the work, because the work is not going to do itself. I really hope that this was, again, encouraging. I keep saying that in all my videos, that's really the best thing I think, that one of the purposes of what I do here. Encouraging, eye-opening, inspiring for you to do the work and manifest your desires. And once again, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and share it with people that you think might find it useful, and see you in the next video.